आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference. Ritika, Ritika. Hi. Ritika. 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 Ritika.
आप ही तो हो अपनों का सबसे बड़ा भरोसा और आपके भरोसे के लिए
मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
You are the difference.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Today, we are here talking about all the things that are important to your heart. I, Subarna Nandi, will be your host for today, and I will take you through this 1 hour power packed session, which talks about nutrition, mindfulness, physical well being, emotional well being, and much more. But before I begin, let me give you a recap of what we've been doing so far. We are presenting to you the Max Life Wellness Insurathon, where we spoke about our financial wellness, our wellness for all the women customers and viewers that we have. And today we are talking about your overall wellness. If you missed our part 1 and part 2, please do not forget to go log into the Max Life Insurance YouTube handle and watch for those videos. Now, when I talk about wellness insurathon, what do I mean? I mean that all the things that are close to your heart, your finances, your family, and today it is about you. So we talk about all the things that matter to you, to your heart, to your family, and to everybody around you. Now to take today's discussion forward, I have with me Miss Preeti Shah. She is our health coach, she is our nutritionist, she is the one who's going to give us all the good advice that will make sure that we are healthy, wealthy, and wise. We also have with us Mr. Udbhav Gupta. Udbhav heads the protection, wellness, and health vertical at Max Life Insurance. He will make us financially wise. And we have Mr. Krishna Kumar Ramasubramanian. He is the operations head at Max Life Insurance. He's also a very fit man. So he talks about how he balances everything out and what Max Life Insurance has to offer. Before I take you through today's 1 hour power pack session, let me remind you that, after the session, we will also take your questions. So please do not forget to put in all the questions. You will see a drop box on your screen. So please ask all your questions and we will get back to you. We will answer some of them live during the session and some of them we'll try and answer post the session. Please also do not forget to rate us because your ratings help us get better. And also, please, the most important thing, there's a download certificate button on your screen. So please do not forget to download your personalized Rohit Sharma signed certificate. Now, before making you stop anymore, let me start. Preeti, welcome. The first question of the day is to you. When we talk about overall wellness, Preeti, I mean, it's such a vast topic. What in your mind and what do you think that overall wellness actually means today?
Hi. So overall wellness, in the simplest words, it's mean being fit. But when we define being fit, we need to consider the age, as it is obvious that we cannot compare 20 years old with 40 years old and then 40 years old with 80 years old. So we need to consider the age factor when we define overall wellness. And aging is inevitable. I tell my client that you don't have any other choice but to age gracefully. So I'll give you a little bit more detail that, say, for example, the today's code, when we see that by age 80, by age 40, people start gaining weight. They start getting digestive issues like acidity will hit, constipation will hit, bloating will hit. By 50, people will start getting into all kind of ailments, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, thyroid. By age 60, all your muscles and your bones, they will start reminding you that they are there. And by age 70 and 80, it is more about mental ailment or mental wellness. So when you define wellness or overall wellness, it is also imperative to know at which phase of life, how well you are managing that particular phase.
That's quite interesting to know. I am dreading, and I'm sure everybody is dreading aging, because as you grow older, you get all these ailments. You actually realize what the reality of life is, and you've spent most of your productive years, working, taking care of family, your kids, and whoever matters to you, that you forget the person you are, and you've forgotten to take care of yourself. So very well said, Preeti. All of us are working professionals. We are always busy. There's something else which is always our priority. How do we then plan for, overall wellness for our family, for ourselves, for our kids? How does that work? I mean, do we have enough time?
So this question has also hidden message that busy people, they don't have enough time. This is the question which I get from my clients often, that just because we are busy, we don't have time. And let me tell you that it's a myth. Busy is good. To be honest, busy is good. And whenever we say, that an idle mind is a devil's workshop, I believe that thoroughly, that just because you're busy, you cannot say that you cannot take care of that small things. So I always, whatever I tell them, I'm going to tell that to you. You need to shift your mindset. You need to shift the perspective, and you need to tell yourself that what exactly is needed to become well. So have you heard of blue zone solutions by any chance? Yeah, Krishna sir has said. So basically it is about a research of healthiest living people in the world and disease free. And when the research was happened on their life, that which kind of secret formula which they are having, which we don't have, that was shedding more light on overall wellness, that what is basically expected from us to become well. And you'll be surprised after so much of research, after so much of efforts, when they interviewed people, and ultimately what was the outcome? They were eating well. No nutrition, like nutritious food was given the most priority. No junk food whatsoever. Of course, smoking, alcohol were not there. Alcohol is a debatable question, so I'm not saying more about it. They were not having fancy gyms to work. They were just moving their body. They were just doing household chores. You can say gardening, farming, but they were moving their body. Plus, the most important thing, they had amazing social connections, and they also followed a purpose of life. So now I tell my clients that being busy, does that stop you from following your purpose in life, from managing little bit of nutrition out of your hectic life, or managing your body more? Busy is nothing but maybe a myth or a belief or maybe a genuine concern that how do you manage this particular part? But when you shift your mindset, then things become really easy. So it is nothing but shifting your mindset. And that is what will lead you to path to wellness.
Amazing, Preeti, shifting your mind, mindset to become more aware and leading to the path of wellness. Welcome, Krishna. I think you have already achieved this, mindset, and undoubtedly you are undoubtedly you are the most fit man probably on the floors of Max Life. And you also, have such a tight schedule, such a packed schedule. Just wanted to know from you, how do you manage everything? How have you managed to achieve this? Krishna, you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I hope my wife is tuned into the webinar. I'll get some better ratings from her at home. And, it has not come easy. And the point that I'm picking from Preeti Shah is everybody has 24 hours. So you got to plan your time. Work will be always there. And I was not blessed with the same level of fitness as I was 10 years before. And I've had my own share of aches and pains, etc., etc. What I learned, if I were to just put it, is it is your body, it's your place of worship. I would put it like that. So you're living on what you created for yourself in the last 10 years. So imagine what you're going to have in the next 10 years. Everyone in India will live long. We are all going to be leading longer lives thanks to advanced medical treatment. How you live is our choice. And that's the quality of life. Before I say anything, do things that are sustainable, that are relevant for you. Don't get into a race. Don't get into an ego race with somebody. What works for me is I'm an early riser, so it helps. And, I get my time for a good 15-20 minute meditation. I do my stretches. Then I'll hit the gym and I'll spend, depending on what my day is planned. And here also, it's also planned. It's not something I'll just walk along and I'll find out what I want to do. When we have a plan, we'll end up doing it. That's the point I'm saying. So I'll do 3 days of weightlifting, 2 days of cardio, 1 or 2 days of yoga. And I love that. Do what you can love, do what you love, and do what you can sustainably, continue. And instead of waiting for one eventual day, like a new year, that I will become fit as a resolution, do start something and starting off something small is also most welcome. And I would say genetics only takes you that far. You have to work on many other things for your, I would say, for your longevity and how you live long. And that energy that you create in yourself because of exercises or being fit and doing that movement and the nutrition, etc., is going to last for your, that day. That's the way I have seen. It's a virtuous cycle. Now, I would also say 10 minutes in the gym is better than doing 5 more minutes in the snooze department on the bed. Because the endorphins kick in the moment you start your warm up and your exercises, you feel good. And that being good, I have always said, and my wife also reposes this, that I am in a position of importance and authority, not only in my office, but in my entire society and in my community. So if I am grumpy, if I am dull, it's not going to help any of us. So we have a duty to be positive, to be optimistic, to be recharged, and create that infectious circle amongst all of us. That's the way I will sort of put it. A lot of people think, today I will go and do a crash diet. We have a specialist here in Preeti. I will, during the course of the conversation also request her to talk about the pitfalls of that, because I've seen people fluctuate. Over to you, Suvarna.
Thank you so much, Krishna, for those valuable nuggets. I think all of us should start today, if not right now. And we should, make a plan for ourselves, however small that is, and try to, stick to it so that we achieve our dreams. And like you said, that, we need to be happy rather than snoozy. So that's the, takeaway from here. Udbhav, welcome. You are going to help us become financially well. So I was reading somewhere, Udbhav, that, the medical inflation is at about 14%, which is literally double of the inflation that the country is seeing. Because you interact with customers and consumers so much, do you think that, as Indians, we are well prepared to tackle this?
So thank you, Subarna, and good afternoon, everyone. I think, Subarna, the question which you posed, I think the answer to it, like many other things in life, is not a clear yes or a no. There are both sides to it, as I see. I think definitely over the last 3-4 years, especially after the pandemic hit, I think the awareness among the general population about the reality of facing a big medical event and having to go through expenses is much, much more real in a lot of people's minds. So the awareness and hence the adoption or the attitude towards medical insurance has definitely increased. And we see it in terms of the data which is published regularly. So health insurance as an industry is growing at a rate of 25 to 30% for the last 2-3 years. There's also a report out where it is visible that the sum assureds, the covers which people used to buy, there's always a problem with insurance that kam insurance lene ki bimari type ke log kam lete hain. They underestimate the requirements. So that also has seen a lot of upliftment. So where earlier the covers used to be around 2 to 3 lakhs, we definitely see the average cover people buy now is around, at least in the urban centers, around 5 to 6. And even 10 lakh is not unheard of covers which people aspire for. So I think that part definitely shows that we have made progress as a nation, as a society towards preparedness for handling medical expenses and the inflating expenses. But the reality still is that this is still not enough. And that's the flip side of the question, which I mentioned, that there is a no also to it. And that is visible also in the stats which emerge that even after trying to keep pace with the reality of getting hospitalized, having medical expenses, there is still, as per different estimates, around 60 to 70%, depending on the report you read, is the out-of-pocket expense, as the report calls it. So even after the government's Ayushman Bharat scheme has been launched and is used quite well, the attitudes of personal insurance, private insurance have increased. Still, of the total health expenditure that happens in the country, around 60 to 70% is still borne by the out-of-pocket expense, which the customer themselves are paying for it. So this is actually a sobering reality. While this number used to be upwards of 80%, it has fallen. but still 60 to 70% is a significant expenditure which people still end up making out of their own pockets. And I think that is definitely to do with inflation, because as we are finding out, Krishna also mentioned, the treatments are improving, right? Preeti also referred to that. As people are experiencing these benefit of treatment, the costs are something which we are finding difficulty in keeping pace with, right? As a society, I think we are definitely not prepared, because estimates suggest that every year around 2 to 3 crore people in India, it's not a small number, 2 to 3 crore people actually end up facing the brink of poverty because of medical instances. So it is either insurances run out, or they have to borrow money to continue with their treatment. And that actually leads to families actually breaking apart in terms of how they continue. So preparedness, I think we are still as a society not really prepared, even though we are making progress.
Thank you so much, Udbhav, for that. I think, there must be some things that we can do to, make sure that the society progresses also. So hold on to that thought. I'll come back to you, with a follow-up question. Before I do that, Preeti, my next question, and I think Krishna cued me beautifully for that, is that, we are always in this quick fixes syndrome these days. We want a hit exercise, or we want a keto diet, or or something that's quickly going to help me become fitter, healthier, better, etc. So what is your advice, Preeti, in that sphere? How do you think that we should actually look forward to making our health, rather than, do you think that quick fixes work, or they do not work, or what should we do?
So I tell them, Jugad. And I'm not an advocate of quick fixes. As we have mentioned in Blue Zone solution is also, it's like you have to do your lifestyle changes for your life. That's why it is called lifestyle changes. And as rightly mentioned by Krishna, that it is more that how you take your life from first end to the second end. It's not about the quick fixes, and it will help you in your short term. But now in your question only, you have mentioned that there's so many things in the market. Yeah, there's so many things in the market, but rightly said by Udbhav that numbers are increasing. So if those products are able to help us, then why the numbers are increasing? So it's definitely a mismatch, and we are missing very important point here. We are more, just because we are busy, we are just grabbing for the short-term solutions, and we may miss the main link, that what is exactly important. So I give one mantra to my clients. That they have to take care of the 3 parameters, and they have to tick mark in all the boxes. They cannot miss even one box if you really want to manage your life well. So first is physical. Of course, we know that physical health is important. So imagine that you have earned super money, you have worked so much hard, you have good bank balance, and your mental health is also nice. So your brain is charged up, your brain wants to work more, you have more money, but you are not getting support from your health. It's not going to make work. In fact, you will be in a worse situation. Imagine a situation where body is not helping you, your mind is powerful. So physical box needs to be ticked for sure. Second comes emotional and mental well-being. Of course, now imagine the situation. Your body is absolutely well. You can do whatever you want to do. You are also financially stable, but your mental health is not that great. Now we know that numbers of Alzheimer, dementia, anxiety, depression, everything is rising. It's not that I'm saying, the numbers are saying that we are somewhere missing the improvement of our mental health. So I tell my clients that simultaneously, when you focus on reducing your weight, improving your digestive health, improving hormonal imbalance, you also need to improve your brain health. And it is possible. When you work on improving your brain health, you will definitely get result. And there is not a good situation to have a financially stable life, but not remembering names of our grandchildren. So by 70s and 80s, if you want to really live well, if you really want to enjoy that last leg of life, you need to have a stable, healthy mind. That is a second tick. You need to put that tick mark in the second box. And the third is financial security. Now, I bet everybody who's listening to me must be knowing one person who had to cut short their treatment because of financial crunches. It's maybe we or our other family member or relative or even domestic help. So I tell them that financial health is so much important that even if you're physically well, if you're mentally well, but if you're not able to take that treatment, you will really feel sorry about it. And it is also not only about your financial security. This is maybe a social responsibility for us that we are managing our life. But what about our domestic health? Everyone around us needs to be aware that they need to be financially secured because, as mentioned by Udbhav, that medicine expenses are rising. Rising how, And in that, accidents happen. So if you really want to protect yourself, please take this financial stability. So, three parameters: physical, mental, emotional, and financial. All that boxes you need to tick mark if you really want to work well. So, no jugaad, only lifestyle changes, and make sure you cross all these boxes. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Preeti. Krishna, I hope that answers your question. Preeti will come back to you for more on physical and mental.
Yeah.
Udbhav, on the financial well-being part, how do you see Max Life playing a role in it? What is it that Max Life is doing for its customers, prospects, every Indian, who can benefit from what Max Life has to offer?
Yeah. So Subarna, I think I'll continue where I left off when I previously was addressing your point around are we prepared? And the fact that when we get into a serious medical issue and we realize that we actually are staring at, as a family, as an average Indian, we can stare actually at poverty because of running out of either insurance or running even out of our savings. I think we have to realize that medical insurance is important, but that is not the end of it. If I were to say that I have planned for that part of my life, financial security, because medical insurance, if we really think about the basics of medical insurance, it is making good the cost we incur in the hospital, or maybe the surrounding medication and the consultations which we need to get through. But the fact is that when that extreme event happens, the real severe diseases, while an average hospitalization ranges around, depending on the city, 60 to 70,000 in a tier 3 city and maybe 1.5 lakhs around in a metro and top 8 cities. The real significant events which they happen typically would cross the amount average sum assureds which we buy in terms of our medical insurance. So if an event strikes which is actually draining on our finances, our medical insurance will not be enough. So there is something we need to think beyond medical insurance. Definitely, you mentioned medical inflation is 14 to 15%, right? So fooling ourselves into believing that there is a savings, I have put it aside, I have done an FD, if my insurance runs out, I will use that, let's say, pool of money. We have to be honest, that will never keep pace with the inflation, right? That money will earn us 5%, 6%. Inflation is, as you mentioned at the start of our discussion, is running at 2x. So our savings are not going to be enough even at that situation. So definitely the answer to that lies in insurance, because insurance will keep us prepared for that extreme events and not requiring us to set aside money out of our savings. And that's where, as Max Life Insurance and as insurance industry, life insurance in general, we believe there is a role for products beyond medical insurance, which actually can serve at a very, very affordable rates to top up the requirements which emerge out of these situations. So but definitely the critical illnesses which we encounter and which are most commonly understood, diseases of the heart, kidney, liver, cancer included, these really, really high severity events, as we would like to call them, we have plans in place which add on to the normal life insurance which people buy. And at a very affordable rate, these provide a fixed amount. You can choose a sum assured, and these will be paid irrespective of what you have incurred as a cost as your part of your hospitalization. So if you have taken a cover for a critical illness with a life insurer, and you happen to be diagnosed with that disease, no matter whether it's a 2-day hospitalization, 5-day hospitalization, whatever you have incurred as part of your medical insurance, you will definitely, by claiming against these policies from your life insurer, get a lump sum amount to take care of your expenses. Now, here also we need to realize medical emergency is not just a cost of hospitalization. There is a big reality that when you undergo a very, very severe disease like a brain stroke or a cancer, which actually has wreaked havoc on your body, medical advancements perhaps have allowed you to stay alive, but there is a long recovery period involved in a lot of these diseases. And 75% of India is still self-employed, not salaried. And even salaried people, sick leaves can run out. So an outcome of having a medical emergency is not just medical hospital bills, they are actually loss of income also. So your business might suffer for that period. You might have work leaves without pay during that period. So, and you will have EMIs still to pay, right? Your family bills, household bills do not stop. So covering for those requires something beyond medical insurance, and this is where such kind of products can help. So we have two products available with Max Life. One I mentioned, critical illness related add-ons. We call them riders. And we also have a product which people can actually use as part of their savings. So if you can set aside a part of money every month or every year, that buys you insurance. And hopefully, if your health doesn't suffer, you do not incur any event, the money actually is returned to you at the end of the policy. So actually, it is best of both worlds, because you have an option of buying unlimited 1 crore, 2 crore of medical insurance also, but that will cost you money, and if you're not utilizing it, it can be a drain on your purse. But there are products available which return your money, but also pay you in case of a medical event. So those are the ways you can complement your existing medical insurance and be better financially prepared.
That is great to know, Udbhav, that we have, offerings from Max Life, which stretch beyond the medical, insurances that we have, and that can actually help us secure ourselves and our family much, much better. Thank you so much for telling us that. Krishna, my next question is to you. Udbhav told us, what are the products that are available. But in our general life, what tips and tricks do you give to your customers for them to be financially prepared?
I'm not so sure about the tips and the tricks because there aren't any, but there's a method that can work. I would say, and I don't want to appear preachy, having been in financial service for about 25 years, I can say the following. First of all, determine what are your goals. I would perhaps put it in 5 steps. First step, what are your goals? Which means suddenly people say, I want 1 crore. It won't happen overnight. Or I'll keep it for 20 years. That's also too far off. So distinguish really well between what are your short term, which is 1 and 3 years, and what are your 5 to 10 year goals. I think this is what one can see. So first is the goal part. The second part is just a goal is not good enough. You need to have a plan in place, which means how do I reach there? And to reach there, you need droplets of savings, right? They say small drops make a big ocean, right? So what are the savings elements that you're going to be having? And let's spend some time there. Option 1, most people live in income, less spend equal to savings, simplistically. Option 2, which I would advocate everybody does, is income less savings equal to the spends. So prioritize savings as opposed to savings becoming an eventuality because I've spent a lot. On savings, there are multiple levels of instruments that are now vibrant in India. You must know what is meant for what purpose. And we'll spend perhaps some part of it during the course of this webinar. Third, I would say keep an emergency fund. It can happen. We recently collected a fundraiser for a colleague of ours who met with a drastic accident. That apart, anything for you or for your near and dear ones, you need to have an emergency corpus. 3 months to 6 months of salary that you should keep so that you can dig in deeper. And that's where life insurance actually falls in place. Life insurance is traditionally the bedrock of all financial instruments. Like we see a building can only be as tall as its basement is. And really, how well we construct our basement is dependent on the quality of life insurance cover and the value of life insurance that you have. You must know what's your human life value. In India, it's very linear. As you move up in your age, your income increases, hopefully, and your responsibilities also increase. One gets to finish up till at least college. There isn't a loan broadly. Most parents still don't put kids on loan, at least in India. Then your marriage, then your kid, then you want to buy a vehicle, then you want to buy a car, then you marry off, education, etc. So that should be really the cover that you need. And insurance is, I would say, the equivalent of assurance of income in case one is not able to earn. I would say the fourth point is really keep a close tab on your expenses per se. It's good to celebrate wins, and you must, because it motivates you to win more as well as earn more. But keep a tab on those big ones, big spends that one should have. Lastly, I would say really understand what are tax saving instruments. India is a savings economy. My sense is about 26% of income is saved in general. I mean, this is the average. Why does the government encourage such savings? It's because people find it very difficult to understand, reach big goals. They say, okay, you save in small instruments. There is a variety out here. As I was saying earlier, you have small scale, government sponsored ones. Employers provide provident fund. You can create a corpus through, I would say, even life insurance. You have FDs. Before going to mutual funds and equity related instruments, which only very few people understand, you must have this in full suite. So in sum, a five-step plan. First is, what are your goals? Distinguish between short and long term. Number two, have a clear plan in place. Third, save well. Four, create an emergency fund. Five, see to it that you also utilize tax saving instruments in your savings mix. That's what I would suggest. That will hold good for as an evergreen concept.
Thank you so much, Krishna. I think all of us can benefit from this five-pronged approach, where we plan and we save and we have an emergency corpus, and obviously we take care of what our tax saving instruments have to offer. So I think that's a very fresh approach to look at how financial prudence can be built in our daily lives. Coming back to you, Preeti, earlier you spoke about physical and mental well-being. Now, when I think of mental well-being, I don't think that in India we've still normalized going to a therapist, going to a psychiatrist, psychologist, actually knowing what's going on in our mind. I don't think that we've reached that kind of openness. A lot of us don't even know what mental well-being means. So if you can, help us understand what does it actually mean? And everybody talks about stress. So the golden question to you is that, can we ever be stress-free?
So, yeah, of course, mental well-being is important. But nowadays, I have also noticed shift in mindset. Now, people have started going to therapists. People have started accepting that mental health is very important. So, when I talk about my clients, I show them an overall big picture. So instead of, so clients also come and ask me that I know I'm stressed. I know that it is killing me, but what to do with it? Majority problem when I have noticed is clients are aware of it. They just don't know how to manage with it. It's like, think about an elephant or don't think about an elephant and immediately you will see elephant in front of you. So if you try that, no, I will not think about an elephant, by that logic, you will never be able to remove that stressor for sure. So I teach them crowding out concept, that instead of focusing, so first step is you need to identify your stress points. So as Krishna has said about all financial stresses, that is taken care of. So I think I'll focus more on health wise, that what kind of questions that people get worried for. Now, small questions, they come and ask me that I don't think I'm taking good care of my life. I don't have time. And in that, what do I do? So I tell them that start noting down, start identify your stress. That is the first thing. It's like deciding your goal, that what exactly you want out of your life. Simple question like, I'm not drinking enough water. Okay, so then there are water apps. Are you using that? Second is, I'm eating too much out and I don't think I'm eating nutritious food. So I tell them, okay, then maintain food diary, maintain your log, and then understand whether you are really eating out quite often. You really need to make a shift into that, or you are just stressing out, because perceived stress is much worse than the actual stress. And stress is killer. That is going to invite all kinds of ailments. So you need to focus your stress absolutely well before stress hit you. Now, one more thing I tell them, that which my dad used to tell me, that someone can make a khichdi for you, or you can say a food platter. It will be served to you. But ultimately, you will have to chew. You will have to consume that. No one else can consume it for you and can give you benefit. So here I also tell them that whatever stress you're facing through in life, first of all, identify and take a first step. Action will lead to you some solution. Just talking about it, just stressing out about it, it is not going to help you in any ways. So I follow the advice of my dad that my khichdi, okay, if anyone else is making, at least I'm chewing it by myself. So first thing is to take action. So that is the mantra which I give to my client, that whether you feel that it's a mental health or it's a physical health or it's any other thing which is stressing you out, first of all, identify your stress and take help from all the apps. Now, I also have seen MaxFit is a brilliant app. In that, if you feel you're not moving enough, so there is a tracker. Then it also helps you maintaining your medicine history. It also has various parameters which can identify whether you actually have a problem or you are just stressing out. Yeah, all those things really help and will help you ultimately remove your stress for sure. So take first action. Max can just provide you app. Max cannot download it for you. Max cannot make you use it. It's you have to take use of all those things. So my advice, sincere advice to all of you, that everything is important. Stress is important. Stress is killer. So take first step and take some action before stress hits you. Start taking action and that will lead to solutions. There's nothing other, there's no other magic formula. And the simple things work. That's
Thank you so much, Preeti. I think I take away the khichdi point the most. That अगर खिचड़ी
Yeah.
पका लिया है तो खाना भी पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
So, I think, that's a beautiful point to be put. Before we move forward, I would just remind my audience to keep asking your questions. We are already getting lots of questions. So please ask your questions and also please rate us. That just really helps us bring better content to you, helps us, become better as an organization. Now, Preeti, you briefly spoke about the MaxFit app. So, Udbhav, here's where I'll come back to you. Can you throw more light on this app? How can somebody get it? What are the benefits? And, what does it actually do for you?
Yeah. Thanks, Subarna. So, MaxFit app by MaxLife is a part of a journey of realizing what all health and wellness is about, right? So, offering the riders and the product, which we call Seva, was part of a journey to realize that for actually meeting customers' health needs, we need something in addition to medical insurance. And realizing that wellness actually and health and living a healthy life is actually a holistic concept than just perhaps eating or having access to financial needs. We realize that Max Life also needs to partner its customers in this entire journey. So for that, what we have launched as part of MaxFit app is the approach we have taken is about personalized care rather than becoming another of a fitness app which offers best discounts on fitness wears or health supplements, etc. So this app right now is available with two of our products. So if you buy the Max Life Seva, which is secured earnings and wellness advantage plan, that's the product I talked about, which gives benefits and also returns your premium. So you get benefits sum assured as part of your insurance plan, but also the money which you put in for as premium also gets returned to you. So it is saving as well as planning for health emergencies. So and the critical illness related rider, the add-on product which I discussed. So this app is available with these two products. When you buy these products, you have an option to download the app, and using your mobile number, etc., which you use to purchase the product, you can straight away log in into the app. Now, as I mentioned, the app is created around the concept of personalized healthcare, because you as a human, your needs will be very, very different to another person. So the first point of first landing activity on the app is a good 30-40 minute conversation with a professional health practitioner. So you have a conversation, you discuss how your work style is, how your lifestyle is, what are the current situations you are having, what are you eating, all aspects related to health. So we call that a health risk assessment. So that is actually the starting point of the wellness journey on this app. Using this on the app, our healthcare providers create a sort of profile for you in terms of what are your most immediate action areas. And the second feature, which I find most useful on the app, which we have created, is a 24/7 healthcare support. So it's a chat support, which you have access to 24/7. So you can just type in your current need. It might be that I am having migraine pain or those basic daily things which keep on happening. But the beauty is that because you have gone through the health risk assessment, the response will be contextualized to what your overall situation is, rather than just a response, ki Nax Dom le lo, right? Something. So you won't just get very, very generic answers. The answers will be specific to you. So I find that actually an approach to holistic wellness, because you need to understand your whole reality before taking actions. We've realized we touched upon the mental wellness part during our discussion. So there is also a module of relevant blogs and very, very nice podcasts about meditation, deep breathing, all these concepts which help out in terms of relaxation when you are stressed. There are, of course, annual health checkups available, which you can do, discounted medicine bookings, teleconsultations with general physicians, specialists. All these are health-related ecosystem is available on the app. Right now, it is available with two of our products, which are our offerings to our customers for health and wellness planning. So that's about it.
Thank you so much, Udbhav. I think it's a great app, and I think everybody who's listening to us today must download this and get the benefits of what the app has to offer. Preeti, my next question to you, you talked about khichdi, the most important thing. So how does nutrition or what role does nutrition actually play in the overall well-being of a human being?
So in textbook definition, you can say that it is an essential material which body requires to function optimally. It is a material for the body. So it really defines what kind of material you are providing to your body, and the body will function accordingly. So it is like training an employee, motivating them, giving all kind of data, giving nice cabin, nice environment. And what if you don't provide him or her a particular software or an internet connection? It will definitely have some impact on the productivity. Similarly, body requires certain kind of vitamins and minerals, protein, fat, water, and that particular proportions. Whenever I deal with my clients, I have always seen that they make a mistake in understanding proportion, because there are so many diets in the market, but the teaching that exactly what are the proportions required for the body, not for your palate, but for your body, what is required. So I teach them a plate method. It is very quick and very easy to understand. No need to calculate any calories. Whatever you are eating, your plate should be divided half into fruits and vegetables. Fruit should be little less than 1/4 and vegetable should be little more than 1/4. So your half plate should be with fruits and vegetables only. 1/4 plate should be with protein, healthy protein. Protein is a building block for our body. We require it for repair and rejuvenate. So if you don't eat protein, body will not have that material to repair. So you're not providing material to body. So body will not be able to help even if body wishes to. Body is very kind to us. And the 1/4 plate remaining should be with the whole grain. And in the whole grain, you need all the varieties. So think about all that nachni, ragi, jawar, bajra, kimba, oat, wheat, rice. Usually what we do, we end up eating products made with the wheat and rice. So, that sweet stuff and all. So our carb consumption or that whole grain consumption is much more than 1/4. It is minimum, I can say, more than half. So ultimately, we are providing body so much material which is useless. So that's why body is saving that. That can lead you weight gain. Now, if you follow this plate, you will never have to calculate calories. You will never have to worry about supplements, that which kind of supplements I'm consuming, because you're getting enough supplements or from the fruits and vitamins. And second, it is natural source. So body will be able to absorb it in a better manner. Plus, it is full of fiber. Your digestive system is absolutely clear when you are following this kind of practices. So I tell my clients that always consider this, that you are giving some work to a person, expecting them to work optimally and not providing them with enough material, what they require to fulfill that work. It is not going to solve the purpose. Nutrition is simple like that. Understand portions, understand half fruits, vegetables, half is 1/4 is protein and 1/4 is whole grain, little bit of fat and water. That's the formula.
Thank you so much, Preeti, for teaching us a balanced diet and how we should look at our plate. We're getting lots of questions. So, Krishna, my last question will be to you before we open up for the audience. When we think of life insurance, we think of a really long, complicated process. So, can you help us understand what Max Life is doing to probably simplify it for their customers?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a lot to do in the industry in terms of simplifying the concept of life insurance. And, towards educational awareness is what these programs are meant to be. And we'll do more of that basis the feedback. Firstly, we understand all customers need different levels of assistance and support. So we are physical and digital. Most customers would need a do-it-yourself sort of approach. So please come and visit our website. The website is self-sufficient. Anything that you want to, including buying a policy, to servicing a policy, to changing an address, to adding a nominee, to ask for payouts, everything is digital. So do it for yourself is there. These are just illustrative requests that you may be having. There are many others that we have as well. You also have a large segment of our consumers who say, do it for me, which means I need assistance. And that do it for me could be half do it yourself and half full, or fully people saying, please support me, I don't know how to go about it. In which case, you please come to our branches. We are very well serviced by about 350 plus offices across the length and breadth of the country. In addition, we distribute life insurance and service our customers through Axis Bank, one of the largest private sector banks, Yes Bank. We also have our agents. We have about good thousands of agents who service us. We also have our office in Dubai for NRIs who may possibly be listening to this webinar. We have various touch points. We have our call center. You can write in our email ID. We have a live chat mechanism. You may download, our app as, my fellow panelists were sharing the morning. You may also have a WhatsApp-based conversation with us, right? In which we will fulfill all the work types that you may be having or the requests you may have. So we are a full-fledged digital plus physical at a scale player. This is how we sort of create an awareness, simplifying the concept of life insurance and how to serve you better.
Perfect, Krishna. Thank you so much for helping us understand how one can very easily reach out to Max Life Insurance and fulfill all their requirements. I think this is superb to know that the brand is available physically and digitally to help customers take care of all of their needs. Now we have lots of audience questions. Preeti, the first one is to you from Neha. How can I build physical and mental wellness importance in my child?
Yeah, so it's a very important question. And I have a daughter who's 19 years old. And I have seen that kids, they learn by looking at us or observing us. And I'll give you, so this formula works with everything. If you want to make them work or if you want to make them read, you read. If you want to make them eat healthy food, you eat healthy food. Or provide that environment which can encourage them to grab that thing without forcing. Because kids, they learn with the observation. I'll give you a quick example. In COVID, we suddenly had to cancel vacation. And my daughter came and asked me, Mama, what will I do in that vacation? I'm like, what do you want to do? I want to do online class. I'm like, online course? She said, Mama, you always do online courses, no? So I also want to do online course. So I never thought that she's observing me, that I'm studying, I'm reading. This is how you pass on the values to children, whether it is food or ethics or values in life, whether it is mental health. You be there for your children and be a role model. That's it. This is the shortest message to Neha. This will applicable in all the situation in your life.
Thank you so much, Preeti, for that wonderful answer. Udbhav, I think you can take the next one. It's from Radhika. She's asking, I'm an entrepreneur. What are some of the Max Life offerings that I can use to build an emergency fund for myself?
Right.
Krishna, maybe you can also add to this one.
So Radhika, life insurance products, the core of the product is, of course, to prepare you for the emergencies in life, which might be, today we have discussed a lot about the health emergencies, but there is, of course, the biggest emergency in terms of being preparing for your family and your dependents in case of the unfortunate event of you passing away. So life insurance, the core concept of life insurance is, of course, preparing for that. But life insurance products also allow you, as Krishna mentioned, disciplined savings every month. A part of your money goes into savings mechanisms. Life insurance is a great tool to practice that, because life insurance allows you to spread your savings and plan for a milestone by monthly or annual amounts, rather than you having to choose something right as a lump sum. So there are lots of products available. You can utilize them. They give you an option both to plan for a milestone, typically for your child education. So you put in premiums for 5 years or 10 years, you contribute over a period where you can save money, and then plan for a milestone, which might be, let's say, 18 years out to when your child is born. You plan for a lump sum amount, as Krishna mentioned, you plan for an outcome and then basically calculate through disciplined routes. You through life insurance, you can also get exposure to savings and get exposure to equities, which today a lot of us are finding very, very attractive. So mutual funds, like you do in mutual funds, SIP, you can do through life insurance also, and also benefit from the tax advantage that life insurance offers, which Krishna mentioned. You need to be aware of your choices when you make a financial savings choice. What are the tax outcomes? So there are unit-linked products, which we call them, which are market-related. You can also utilize life insurance products for that. So there are lots and lots of options available. I would urge you to go onto Max Life website and explore investment plans, as well as insurance plans. Or there are advisors, Max Life advisors, thousands of advisors available, or the bank branches of Axis Bank, Yes Bank, which are our biggest bank assurance partners. You can reach out to any of these options and learn more about the choices.
Thank you so much, Udbhav, for putting it so beautifully. Given the interest of time, I'll take the last two questions, and Preeti, both of them are to you. The first one is from Renuka. She's asking, gyms and other subscriptions are very expensive nowadays. How can I ensure physical and mental well-being on a budget?
On a budget. So as I discussed about the blue zone solutions, to be honest, we know that is a shift in perspective which everybody has to apply, that it is not about the budget. Now, say, for example, if you want to consume protein, if you don't have money to consume healthy nuts or seeds, you can consume sing chana, right? So it's not that only when you have budget, you can take care of your mental and nutrition wealth. Our India is rich with all kinds of nutrition. We have, and to be fit, say, for example, if you want to talk about your health. So in that, what did I ask you to consume? Fruits, vegetables, whole grain, and protein options, nothing else. And that is, I think, affordable to all. When you try to make it fancier, when you try to think that, oh, this fancy diet will make my life super, that it is not going to help. Second, when I teach my clients and especially kids, I always tell them that playing games with them. You must have seen that small clips on Instagram. They do with that glass and cup and all those kind of people just do activity with kids just to play with them, just to make them busy. So does that require lots of finance? We just have to have a shift in our mindset that just because you have good money, then only you can take care of your nutrition and mental well-being. Just spending 1 hour in 1 week with the family is must. That is a rule in our house. Those things, those laughter will definitely help you settle down your mental health much more than going to a therapist. Believe me. So change your mind perspective and try. I just tell my clients, just try and then tell me whether it is working, not working. Make your life simple. Eat normal nutrition, clean nutrition, avoid junk as much as possible. Add healthy lifestyle, sit with your kids, sit with your family member, laugh, and then see magic happens.
Thank you so much, Preeti. That's so beautifully put that, sit with your family, have a laughter dose, and that will really help us alleviate a lot of the stress that we get. Preeti, my last question to you is from Ruchita. And I think this is something that everybody will resonate with quite a bit. How can one maintain emotional wellness when most of the families are getting nuclear, kids are moving out? How do I maintain my emotional well-being in that case?
So that is again applicable to me. My daughter just flew out last year, and I felt that emptiness syndrome. No, again, a shift in mindset. I started doing everything what I really wanted to do. Started painting, started music, started mingling with friends. Of course, we know that we love our parents, we love our kids, but ultimately it should be the love with ourselves. Like people say, no, that if you are bored in your company, that means that think about it in which company you are with. So you cannot say that I don't know what do I do with my life. There are lots of things. And on the other hand, we also complain that I don't have time. So just try to ask that what exactly you are looking out of your life. Sometimes, client asks questions, but they are not the real questions. The root cause is somewhere else. So I tell them that work on your root cause. If you are trying to say that my kids, they are going out, but have you also thought about it that you were also cribbing that every day morning at 7 o'clock I would wake up and make a tiffin. I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to go for exercise. Now you have time. We all love our kids, right? Who doesn't? But still, this is a fact of life that they are gonna go out. Even partners, if you just hold your partners a bit too much, what will happen? You will start getting problem with each other, right? You need to give space to each other. This rule applies with each and everybody, whether it is partner, whether it is children, whether it is parents. So try and enjoy your own company. Try to find out your purpose in life. I guess the source, ultimate reason that we are working, we are living, we are eating is all because we want to be happy. So find out what is your source of happiness. What makes you happy? That's it.
Thank you so much, Preeti. Thank you, Udbhav. Thank you, Krishna. We've come to the end of this wonderful session. I wish we could have talked more because there's so many questions that are still coming in, which need to be answered. I have taken up wonderful things out of this webinar today. How to prioritize oneself, talk about your own mental health, and, be wonderfully wise with yourself so that, you have the time to take care of yourself and nurture your mind and body. I'm sure our audience has benefited immensely today with what we have learned. And I'm again thanking Max Life Insurance for bringing to us this new concept of, Wellness Insurathon, where we've talked about 3 critical topics that, really make a difference to our life, our financial well-being, well-being for all the women who are out there, and overall well-being for all genders. Thank you so much, everyone. This is Subarna signing off for today. Have a great, great day. And also, please do
Thank
not
you.
forget to download your Rohit Sharma certificate. That's right there. Just click on the download button and you have something for yourself.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.